all know Kellyanne Conway. She's both the first woman to ever lead a presidential campaign to victory and an intrepid time traveler who must carry the burden that she alone prevented the Bowling Green massacre. But while Kellyanne is making a lucrative career spitting into Jake Tapper's mouth on behalf of Donald Trump, her husband, lawyer, and Martin Short character George Conway has not been shy about hating her boss.
George Conway, noted lawyer and husband of President Trump's top aide Kellyanne Conway, wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post titled "Trump is guilty of being unfit for office."
Mr. Conway was a quiet, infrequent Twitter user until this month, when he unleashed about 200 tweets and retweets, roughly half of which are critical of Trump.
You know, it's like the administration is like a shit show in a dumpster fire.
That is the most ASMR way anyone's ever said shit show in a dumpster fire.
The president is a racist who's taking a poop on the whole country. Now listen to me crunch on some pickles.
To be fair, it's natural for couples to disagree on issues. For example, my husband thinks it's okay for our kids to see an R-rated movie every so often. Well, I think I should get to do it with my Australian cardiologist. Now, while we keep that debate private, Kellyanne and George Conway make their disagreements public for everyone to see. It's hard to understand how a couple could tear each other down like that in public and still be happily married. It's almost like, oh my God. They're getting off on this, aren't they? Oh. Thank you. Feuding doesn't put a kink in their relationship. It is the kink in their relationship. Here's how I think this works. George tweets mean things about the president all day. Kellyanne has to go on TV and defend her boss against her own husband. They get madder and madder, and the tension builds until they come home and get nasty. And sometimes Trump is a third in their cyber threesome, but he doesn't know it. Is this what they mean by the devil's triangle? I'm not gonna look it up. This naughty boy may be famous for hating Trump now, but he actually first became known for attacking another commander-in-chief.
George Conway, who's also a very respected litigator and worked on the Paula Jones case against Bill Clinton.
Meanwhile, Conway reportedly leaked details to the Drudge Report, including the fact that Clinton's penis is curved when erect, which George theorized meant Clinton had a condition called Peyronie's disease. Just to be clear, that was before Google existed, so George had to Encyclopedia Brown his way through every book about dick problems. If you're curious what Peyronie's disease is, I tried looking it up at work, and I have now been fired by TBS. But George's work detailing executive genitalia gained him something more valuable than a salary: true love. Romance soon bloomed between Kellyanne and George, with Kellyanne telling a friend, and I just want to be clear, this is an actual quote, "I find that his near constant presence doesn't annoy me." It may sound a little cold, but believe me, it's much more romantic in the original Vulcan. That's one for you Big Bang Theory fans. Thanks for leaving your televisions on. Bazinga. After the election, Kellyanne, of course, became one of the president's closest aides. George's story, however, is a bit more complicated. George was up for a job in Trump's Department of Justice, but he withdrew himself from consideration, while the president himself claims that he was the one to turn down Conway for a job and also called him a husband from hell, to which George Conway responded, "Yes, insult me more, Daddy." Since the election, George has made a full-time hobby of constantly replying to his wife's boss.
George Conway tweeted again today, "Think about the fact that we don't just have a mentally unstable president, but a president who thinks he needs to be reelected to avoid being indicted."
This week, Conway said Trump was unfit for office, adding that he had a personality disorder.
In the tweet, the president said, "I will never testify against Trump." That's the quote from Roger Stone, to which George Conway retweeted and added a comment saying, file under 18 U.S.C. subsection 1503 and 1512.
Subsection 1503 and 1512, you freaks. Tonight, you be the subsection and I'll be the dom section. You'd think that a feud between her husband and her boss would be deeply upsetting to Kellyanne Conway, to which I say, she loves it.
The day that he was out on the South Lawn and he called George Mr. Kellyanne Conway struck me.
I thought it was him being Donald J. Trump. It was clever.
Kellyanne is publicly defending Trump after he attacked her husband. That's like a new level of psychological foreplay. That is the meanest thing that George Conway ever rewound and played in slow motion 50 times. But no matter how many times Kellyanne goes on the news to defend the president for saying her husband looks like Danny DeVito's stunt double, she still cannot believe the media would ask her what is up.
I just want to ask you one question that a lot of people are asking me, probably you too, and that is, what is up with your husband's tweets?
Let me just tell you something. By definition, spouses have a difference of opinion.
It is unusual.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
It is unusual.
I'm sorry, it's hard for whom? I'm sorry, back it up.
It is hard. It is hard.
Who are the two adults? My husband
You and
me?
your husband. My point
now
is
you're
that
talking about my marriage again?
Why is your husband attacking your boss?
Well, you can ask my husband.
Has this hurt your marriage?
Oh, Chris, what are you, Oprah now?
Oh, please. The only thing Kellyanne would do if Oprah asked her a question is call the cops. The fact is, Kellyanne wants this to be a thing so much, she's even pretended to be an anonymous source complaining about it.
The reporter, you told me you found George's tweets disrespectful. Kellyanne, it is disrespectful. It's a violation of basic decency, certainly if not marital vows, as a person familiar with their relationship. Reporter, no, we're on the record here. You can't say after the fact as someone familiar.
George Conway actually responded to the incident by telling another reporter, say someone familiar with the matter is very turned on right now. To which the reporter responded, ew, no, dude. To which George responded, please, I'm dying. I mean, an anonymous source is dying. Look, I'm not trying to kink shame anyone. I think it's romantic that Kellyanne and White Grimace are keeping some spice in their marriage. I just wish they'd keep it behind closed doors. I'm worried that they're building to something truly disgusting, their own Fox News show. We'll be right back.